Good morning. I'm Jeffrey Weggs. I'm an attorney, a criminal attorney here in Lake County, Florida. Sitting to my left is Lori, a client of mine. Lori, regrettably, is charged with the most onerous crime that any individual could be faced with in their lifetime. Lori is charged with the crime of murder. This incident stemmed from a relationship, having been married to her first husband, Michael. Now, Michael and Lori got married when they got out of high school, and this was a young marriage between the two of them. Lori was the victim of repeated physical violence by Michael. This went on for a period of years. It involved the state attorney's office, involved obtaining injunctions for the protection of Lori. It involved the Department of Children and Families being called into the residence. Michael was removed from the residence, and at that point, or some point thereafter, Lori started seeing somebody else. We're not going to mention his name, but he's the subject of this action. This relationship came upon Lori by Lori dropping the children off at school, and this same individual observing bruising and injuries to Lori. He confronted Lori, and we don't know to this day, or to some extent, we'll find out though, but he proclaimed he had been in the special forces, he had been appointed to protect President Bush, and that he had the special ability to protect Lori from Michael Shaver. He even advised Lori that he had the ability and the knowledge and the special skills to kill somebody, and that nobody else would ever see it, know it, or be able to pin it on him in any fashion. Michael being out of the house, Lori had a relationship with this same individual. The same individual became close to Lori, and during their relationship, Michael was gone. Michael was out of the house. He had disappeared through some means of which we suspect we have the answer to. Anyway, this same individual, this mystery man, advised Lori that she needed to create a sitting patio in her backyard. Told her how much concrete she would need, told her where to put it, and even assisted her in purchasing the concrete. Well, later these two individuals broke up. This individual went back to his first wife, and later on, Lori began to date somebody else. Well, they had concrete sitting there, and her and this individual, who she's now married to, Travis, built this patio. Unbeknownst to Lori, underneath the patio laid Michael Shaver. Later in time, law enforcement approached her, having received some word or advice or suspicion that a crime had been committed. Now, we don't know who exactly told law enforcement, but we'll find out about that. And underneath the patio lay Michael Shaver. Now, when law enforcement confronted Lori, Lori wisely said, "I want to talk to an attorney. I don't want to speak with y'all unless I first speak with an attorney." Thus, she came to me. I haven't interviewed Lori. I understood what had happened and confronted law enforcement, telling them things that I had discovered, what I knew about the case, who we suspected had committed this crime. Law enforcement evidently turned a blind eye on this, and sometime later eventually arrested, or did arrest, Lori for the crime. Now, there's no forensic evidence that ties Lori to this crime, let alone any other crime. There's no gun, there's no ballistical evidence, no chemical evidence, no evidence of any other matter that they can link Lori to this particular crime of murder. We had a bond hearing, and at that bond hearing, I cross-examined law enforcement, and I spoke to them and I said, "Didn't we direct your attention to a particular individual?" Didn't we direct your attention to an individual that proclaimed he had these special skills? Did you investigate it? Their response was, well, we spoke to him, he was cooperative, so we dismissed him really early. And because Lori was closest to the body, she was the one that was arrested in this case. Now, you need to think about that. What Lori did was exercise the constitutional right, that constitutional right to remain silent. And through the exercise of that right, that's why she's charged today in Lake County for the crime of murder, the most serious offense that any individual could be charged with. She is presently looking at a life in sentence, the mother of 4 children, and she has nowhere to turn, nobody to look to, nobody to turn to seek any kind of financial assistance in this case. I've come on this case, have been willing to do as much as I can for Lori, but I've expressed to her, Lori, I cannot finance your litigation. We have to do what we can and look to somebody or any individual that may contribute to your cause. Thus, we've raised this issue here today, seeking financial assistance from anybody and everybody willing to contribute whatever they can to the defense of Lori. We're asking for your kind contributions and assistance, and I can assure you, having interviewed Lori, having looked at the discovery that's been provided me to this date, there is no evidence against Lori Shaver upon which the state can seek a verdict of guilty. So bare is it, law enforcement even is aware of the fact. What they have done is to even have the court issue a warrant for Lori Shaver. What they did is they falsified a probable cause affidavit. They put verbiage in there that her current husband had told them that Lori made a statement implicating herself. That statement was that a communication transpired between her and her husband, whereupon Lori allegedly said to him, well, let me put it this way, Michael's just not walking this earth at this time. I confronted that individual, Travis Filmer. Travis Filmer has executed an affidavit declaring he never made this statement. That affidavit was submitted at the bond hearing before Judge Singletary. Now, we're asking y'all to contribute in this matter and recognize that sometimes and oftentimes people are prosecuted for political reasons, and that's what's at stake at this case. We're asking for your aid and assistance in the most liberal way in which you can. We're going to provide you some information in this link where it'll tell you where to contribute and where you may donate to this cause, and we appreciate those contributions. Is there anything you need to say or want to say, Lori, at this time?
My name is Lori Filmer, also known as Lori Shaver, and as my attorney, Mr. Wiggs, has just stated, he is representing me for the charges of second-degree murder of my ex-husband, Michael Shaver. I'm coming before you guys today just to let you know that we have our suspicions, but I don't know why I've been targeted, why I've been set up, or charged with this heinous crime. I am not guilty. And anybody that knows me knows that my life is my children. I am a daughter, I'm a friend, I'm a neighbor, I'm a servant of God, I'm a wife, and I am a devoted mother of 4. My life is my children. The well-being of my children has and always will be my top priority. And that is the reason that I would never cause any harm to the father of my children. And I know that there's people out there that are trying to paint this picture of me, but that's not me. I'm loving, I'm caring, I have a servitude heart. I don't judge people. I accept all, and I always try to see the good in everybody. And right now, I am up against something that I would have never imagined possible. And so today I'm coming to you. My family and I are begging you, asking for your assistance to help prove my innocence in this case. Without you, we don't have the financial means to pay for my attorney's fees. But I can tell you that I am not guilty. I had nothing to do with the murder of Michael Shaver, nor did I have any knowledge of his body being buried under where we were building a gathering place, a conversational fire pit area for our family and friends to spend time together at.
Just in closing, I would like to make a statement regarding attorneys fees, what we're up against. Criminal attorneys are not in that caliber of attorneys that make boatloads of money, okay? That's personal injury attorneys, guys that really have insurance companies to go after. And unfortunately, criminal attorneys rely on people oftentimes with very little funds. This case is probably going to take about 2 years to complete, start to finish. There's going to be a lot of discovery, probably about 50 depositions involved in it, and tons of legal research and motions. That we're going to win this case, but we're going to win it with y'all. If you can contribute to this case, I can assure you we're going to get Lori out of this mess. So we're asking that you reach into your pocket, do what you can, and help us through this. Thank you very much.